गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। We will chant the first verse and second verse. First line and first verse. एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारं निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा। अत्र वेदान्तमेव प्रमाणम् अत्र वेदान्तमेव प्रमाणम् बोधकः सद्गुरुस्तत्त्वनिष्ठः बोधकः सद्गुरुस्तत्त्वनिष्ठः ईश्वरानुगृहीतेन वेद्यम् ईश्वरानुगृहीतेन वेद्यम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्मा। हरि ओम। पूज्य गुरुजी starts this text with the definition of Brahman. Brahman is Ekameva Dvitiyam. He says Ekameva Dvitiyam. One without a second. And this definition has come in Upanishad also, where Upanishad says that in the beginning, when creation was not there, this world was not there, only Brahman was there. And which Brahman was there? So same, Ekameva Dvitiyam Brahma. Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asit. Some places this Brahman is called as Sat. In the beginning, existence was there. That existence which is free from all bhedas and all conditionings. One homogeneous truth or reality or existence was there. Actually, it is meaningless to say that it was there and it is there and it will be there. When we hear this statement that in the beginning Brahman was there, so we think that now Brahman is not there. In the beginning it was there, one without a second. Now this world is there. There is no Brahman now. But you cannot say that Brahman is an eternal thing. It is not an object of this world which will die or which will change or which will perish. So now this is the truth of this world. This Brahman is the substratum or is the cause of this world, and it is formless, attributeless, movementless, no movement, no motion, immutable. Now the question is, how you will come to know that such Brahman exists, such a thing which is called as Brahman is there? Because through direct perception, we never know that such thing is there. And here already they said that it is so subtle that it cannot be perceived through sense organs. So by pratyaksha praman, you cannot know it, you cannot understand it. Acha. Then in school and colleges also, nobody has told us that one Brahman exists which is immutable, attributeless. Then where can I get the knowledge of this Brahman? Through direct perception, it is not possible, because I am perceiving this world through the sense organs, and till date, so far, nobody has seen Brahman through eyes, or nobody has heard that Brahman is talking, nobody has touched. So this pratyaksha praman is not used, cannot be used, because it is not a gross thing. Then somebody says, by inference, by anuman, all these scientists, they use this inference. This is the praman, valid means of knowledge. And what is anuman praman? They use cause and effect relationship, and they find out the truth which is hidden, in this world. So many laws, so many discovery took place by using this inference only. In Anuman Praman, lot of logic is used, lot of intellect is used, and by that they have discovered so many things. But again, Anuman Praman is actually based on Pratyaksha Praman only. Now I will not go into in that direction or in that subject, but Anuman means which follows Pratyaksha. Inference cannot be used without using Pratyaksha. So extension of Pratyaksha you can say is Anuman. So if Pratyaksha is not applicable, then Anuman Praman, by inference also, I cannot know Brahman. Therefore Guruji says, Atra Vedantameva Pramanam. Only through verbal testimony, that is called Vedas, Shabda Praman. Shabdas are valid means of knowledge. When we listen to word, then we come to know such and such thing is there. So Shabda is a means to know worldly thing, and here he says, if Brahman is to be known, we will have to use this Praman, Vedanta Praman. That's why there is one verse in Sanskrit where it is said, Pratyakshena anumanena yastu payo na vidyate एतद् विन्दति वेदेन तस्माद् वेदस्य वेदता. He says that thing which cannot be known by pratyaksha and by anuman can be known by Vedanta or Vedas. If Vedas also talk about all those things which we can understand, comprehend through direct perception and through inference, then what is the uniqueness of Vedas? What is the speciality of Vedas? The speciality of Veda is it shows us that thing which you cannot grasp through your sense organs or through mind. Tasmad Vedasya Vedata. Then only there is a, what you say, importance of this Veda. Otherwise, what I can see through eyes, and Vedas also talking about that thing only, then why I will read Vedas? Through my eyes, I will know. So Vedas are the Pramanam. Therefore, Atra Vedantameva Pramanam. But you cannot just read Vedas and understand Brahman. That meaning of each and every word should be revealed to us. Because hidden meaning is there. Gudha, Lakshartha is there, indirect meaning is there, implied meaning is there. So to understand that, we need one teacher. Therefore he says, Bodhaka Satgurus Tattvanishtaha. Our Swamiji says beautifully that without Guru, all these Vedantas, they are all silent, Maunam. They will not reveal their meanings. They will not reveal the truth. Unless you get somebody who will tell each and every word and open it. He used to say in Hindi, without Guru, Shastra Maun hai. They are only words only. So one Bodhaka, revealer has to be there. Now that revealer, that Guru, about him, Guruji says, he should be Tattvanishta. Tattvanishta is very good word. Tattva means essence. Tattva means the truth. Tattva means reality. Thatness. Tattva. If anything is there, because of which that thing exists, is called Tattva. Essence. So, the essence of this world, the truth of this world is known Tattva. Therefore, Shankaracharya has written one book called Tattva Bodha. The very first book which we study in our Vedanta course. Book of definitions. All the terminology of Vedanta has been given in that book. So, Tattva Bodha, knowledge of Tattva. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan Krishna used the word for Guru as Tattva Darshi. One who has seen this truth. Seen means one who has realized this truth. Tattva Darshi. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinah. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. When a seeker with full of humility and with intense desire to know supreme truth surrenders at the feet of Sadguru, then Bhagavan Krishna says, Upadekshanti te jnanam. Then that teacher happily, imparts that knowledge to that seeker. And there he says, this Guru is Tattvadarshi. Here, Guruji has used the word Tattvanishta, meaning almost same. Tattvanishta means one who is established in the truth. Not only he has got word meaning of all the verses, but he is living that. He is embodiment of knowledge. He is very well established in that. He is abiding in that truth. Only theoretical knowledge he doesn't have. He understands what is Brahman. And he has become one with that. That's why there is one word in Upanishad for teacher, Srotriyam Brahmanishta. A seeker must approach a teacher who is Srotriya and Brahmanishta. Srotriya means one who has heard this knowledge from his teacher. Not on his own, he just studied and then he is talking. From Guru Parampara. By Guru Parampara he has got this knowledge and he is imparting that knowledge to the taught or the seeker. So Shrotriyam, Brahmanishta, he is established in that. So Bodhakas Sadgurus Tattvanishtaha. Now when such teacher we get, then what should be our attitude towards him? So our scripture says, again and again we must thank Bhagavan that you have given us such a great teacher who is very compassionate, who is selfless, very kind. He is giving me this knowledge without any expectation. So I am indebted to him. I am grateful to him. Such nice, thought must come to our mind. Our bosom must be filled with such emotions and feelings. And we must thank him also and Bhagavan also. Tad viddhi pranipatena. Therefore, Bhagavan says pranipat is total surrender. I don't know I deserve this knowledge or not, but I am sure you have got compassion, you have got a kindness. Karuna Sindhu, you are ocean of Karuna. And definitely, I will be blessed with that knowledge by your grace. With such attitude, when that seeker listen to that knowledge, then he also become Brahmanishta. Now, in the last line of this first verse, Guruji has brought one more factor, and that is most important factor. He says, Ishvaranugrihitena Vedyam. This Brahman can be known, or truth can be known by the grace of God only. Vedyam, known. How? By grace of God, by the blessings of Bhagavan. One who is blessed by God realizes. Anugrah. And all our scriptures, they say that only by self-effort we cannot achieve this final goal, ultimate goal of self-realization. Of course, we have to put forth our efforts. We have to strive. Keep on trying. But one thing must be very clear. that unless and until we get His grace, we cannot reach to that step. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji in the Vivek Chudamani, he says, Durlabham Trayamevaita Devanugraha Hetuka Manukshatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samsaya. That urge to know this Brahman or to know self, this urge comes because of God's grace, mumuksha. That's why it is said, Ishvara anugrahadevam punsam advaita vasanam. This vasana of Advait means desire to know this non-dual truth. This comes in the mind of seeker because of Bhagavan's grace. Generally, it is said that if you have got fourfold qualifications, then you will know Brahman, you will realize the truth. Sadhana Chatushtay Sampanna. We must have this fourfold qualification. All these qualifications have been discussed in Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, Vivek Chudamani, all Prakarana Granthas. Shama, Dama, Vivek, Vairagya, Shama, Damadi, Shata Sampatti and Mumukshutva. So we must develop all these things. Actually, somebody starting, the spiritual practices, it means in some measure he has got all these things. Otherwise, the thought of, seeking this Atman cannot come. So some Vivek is there, some Vairagya is there. And how it came to him? By grace of God. That's why in Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Ati Hari Krupa Jahi Par Hoi, Pav Dei Ehi Marg Soi. See, from his experience only he says. He says, Ati Hari Krupa. Krupa in abundance, not little Krupa. When somebody is blessed with infinite Krupa, grace of Bhagavan, then only he puts his feet in this path of Adhyatma. Means he starts, he develops that interest. Ati Hari Krupa. Now this Krupa is such thing we cannot see it through our eyes. It is something which is abstract, unseen. But it happens. By Krupa only we get Guru. All our Gurus, they only say that we did not know who will be our teacher. Bhagavan ne Krupa ki and we got this teacher. Now Pujya Gurudev has got Taponji Maharaj as his teacher. Now he never knew that such and such person is, living in the Himalaya. God through Shivananji, brought Taponji in Gurudev's life. Ramakrishna Paramahans, he came into life of Narendra, Swami Vivekananda. Now Vivekananda, he just used to go and used to sing and all that bhajans. Ramakrishna Paramahans says, I was waiting for it. So as though God has appointed Ramakrishna Paramahans as his, teacher. So without Guru Krupa, without Ishwar Krupa, we don't get Guru. Even in all our Puranas, there are many stories. Story of Dhruva, Prahlad. They got Naradji as their teacher. Dhruva never knew who is Narad, but he came and he guided him. how to do japa, how to do puja, how to do tapasya. Prahlad ji also got all the lessons of devotion when he was in mother's womb. Narad ji only used to come and teach Prahlad ji's mother, Kayadu. So, Ishvara Anugraha is at every step, it is needed. Parikshit Maharaj, if you see the story of Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by that Rishi, then he left everything and went to Haridwar. Now he wanted to use those 7 days, 1 week, for devotion and knowledge and all that. But he did not know who will give me that knowledge. So Shukdev ji came there. Again, it is, now there was no appointment fixed, or he did not say that, I am coming, please come. So this meeting is arranged by Bhagavan. Our saints and sages, they say, this is the department of Bhagavan, that who will be the teacher and how that meeting will take place and when that meeting will be there. Our job is to keep that desire burning, that I want this knowledge, I want to do bhakti, I want to see God. If our desire is genuine, then definitely Bhagavan arranges a teacher. So Ishvara Anugraha, one thing. And the other thing, once we get that teacher, then again we need grace of Bhagavan to understand the entire, message of our scriptures. So here Guruji clearly says, if somebody is understanding what is Brahman, what is Atman, what is truth, so definitely grace is there. The sign of Bhagavan's grace is we enjoy this knowledge. We understand. It is all because of grace. Otherwise, there are many people, they try to understand, but they fail to understand. Then they leave this path or satsang or all. So, Ishvaranugrahitena Vaidyam. Even in Vivek Chudamani also, Shankaracharya mentions that Pradnyaya, of course, by Pradnya, by pure mind, one can understand this Brahman, but you need grace of God also. So, in this way, what is the Pramanam? Vedanta is the Praman. Who will reveal that Praman to us? Guru. Who is that Guru? Tattvanishta, established in that Brahman. Then how will I get this Guru? By Ishvara Anugraha. One more factor is given in our Upanishads and in our scriptures, that merits also play great role, important role in getting Guru. And for getting satsang, we need merits. Punya punja binu milai na santa. Without punya, we don't get such teacher. So Ishvara Krupa is also needed. Our punya also are needed. When both of them they are there, then definitely we will be blessed with a realized master. And once the teacher is there, then Vedanta is there. So Pramana is there, the revealer is there, and Pramata is there. Pramata means seeker, knower. Then definitely Prama will be risen in the heart of that seeker. Prama means knowledge. That's why in the next verse, Guruji talks about how that infinite truth, is known to this student. Now see, and what is the result of knowing this truth? Jnanagamyam turiyam rudhistham, Jnanagamyam turiyam rudhistham, Atmarupam hitatyena jnatam, Atmarupam hitatyena jnatam, Sodvana paramapnoti satyam, Sodvana paramapnoti satyam, Ekameva dvitiyam hi Brahma, Ekameva dvitiyam hi Brahma. Very interesting. He says, how this truth will be known? So the first word you see, Jnanagamyam. Jnanagamyam means to be known through knowledge. And here knowledge means thought of knowledge. And what is the meaning of thought of knowledge? Thought of knowledge means that thought which has got knowledge. What is this meaning? See, when we say thought of pot, ghatakar vritti, meaning what? That thought which contains pot as its object, that is called ghatakar vritti. Patakar vritti, pat means cloth. So same way brahmakar vritti. Here jnana means what? Brahmakar vritti or akhandakar vritti. That thought which has got Brahman as its object. So with this Brahmakar vritti, we come to know what is that truth, what is that Brahman. Now here, very interesting, here he says Jnanagamyam. Here Guruji doesn't say Karmagamyam, known by action. No, it can be known, it cannot be known by action. Other things we achieve in this world by action only. But Brahman cannot be attained or achieved by performing so many activities. No. Na karmagamyam, na bhavagamyam. Just by feeling, by emotions, I will come to know Brahman. He said no. Na asanagamyam, by doing so many asanas. Shirshasana, Ushtrasana, Tadasana. One day I will come to know, I will realize that Brahman. By doing all these asanas. No. Na pranayamena. Pranayamagamyam. No. Danagamyam, dharmagamyam. He said only jnanagamyam. Known by knowledge only. And knowledge here means when I listen to that great master who is realized, that Brahman, his words, they dispel all the ignorance about myself. Yesterday I told you, Guru is what? Guru is like a sun, bright sun, who removes the darkness, of ignorance. Ignorance is removed. Now today, what is our condition? Just see. I consider myself as I am human being. I am man or woman or teacher or engineer or husband or wife. This is the idea about myself today. Actually, this is ignorance manifested in these forms. When ignorance is there, I identify myself with different types of conditionings, and then I think that I am that being. This is called Ajnana Vritti. Our identity, we have created our identity. I am so and so. But Vedanta says this is actually your ignorance. If really you want to know who you are, then you listen to Vedanta. And once we start listening to Vedanta, then what happens? This Ajnana Vritti will go away. And Jnana Vritti will come in our mind. That is called Jnana Gamyam. Jnanena Gamyam. Knowledge dawns upon us. Then I say, I am not this body, I am consciousness. This is Jnana Vritti. I am formless, birthless, deathless existence. This is called Brahmakar Vritti or Akhandakar Vritti, where my true nature is revealed through that thought. So Jnana Gamyam, Jnanena Gamyam. Worldly objects, when we know, one thought is created. And I understand that object. I know that object. Similarly, when teacher is talking about Brahman, then thought is created of that Brahman. Oh, I am not this body. Body is inert. Body has got form, but consciousness doesn't have any form. So because of constant listening, the idea about myself changes. And then I come to know what is my true nature. That's why he says Jnana Gamyam. Now here, the difference between objective knowledge and subjective knowledge is, in objective knowledge we have got duality. Object is different from me. I am knower of the object, object is known. And that object is always away from me, different from me. Ghata, pata, tree, mountain, building, whatever I am seeing, flower. But here, the duality is gone. Drashta, Drishya. Drishya is different and Drashta is different in objective, this world. When I know of different objects of this world, then Dvaita is there. Meaning, I am very clear that I am different from that known object. But in case of Brahmakar Vritti, object of that Vritti is subject. Brahman is not some worldly thing. It is me only. So when Brahmakar thought is created, then whole attention of my mind is turned inward. And the knower and the known become one. Then only I say Aham Brahma Asmi. When I know a tree, then tree remains as tree and I remain as seer only. But in case of Brahman, when I know Brahman, then I can't remain different from Brahman. If I really understood what is Brahman. So there is no duality. Because the object which I am knowing, that is me only. Therefore, in the very next verse, word, he says, Jnanagamyam turiyam rudhistham. Rudhistham. Rudhistham means it is in the heart only, seated in the heart. That Brahman is not somewhere sitting in the Himalayas. Hridayastham. And in Bhagavad Gita also, in 15th chapter, Bhagavan says, Sarvasya chaham rudhi sannivishta. I am sitting right in the heart, your heart, which is very close to you. So I am not very far from you. Ishvara sarva bhutanam ruddeshe arjuna tishta. In Kaivalya Upanishad also says, Rutpundarikam virajam vishuddham. Kathopanishad also, Angushta matra purusha. Their very poetic description is there. So all our scriptures, they say that Brahman resides in the heart. But now, please note it. It doesn't mean that Brahman is only in the heart. It is all pervading. We have already seen that Nirgunam, Nishchalam, Nirvikaram. It is everywhere because it doesn't have any form. But then why are you saying that it is in the heart? So they say it is experienced in the heart. Very interesting description. Pujya Gurudev used to give one example. He used to say that Indian government is pervaded in entire country. Okay? Indian government. Their rules are applied everywhere. But if you want to meet government, Indian government, where you will go? You will go to government office. That is Upalabdhi Sthana. There that government is available, for any work, for any transaction, communication. Because government is an abstract, thought only, concept only. It is everywhere. But that government office is the counter where you can meet that government. Similarly, Brahman is everywhere, but its seat is heart. That's why if you have to meditate on your heart. And our hand also go to our heart. When somebody says, if somebody is calling your name, Ramesh, who is Ramesh? Who is Suresh? So immediately that person's hand will go to heart. Because I experience myself here. I am as though I am here only. I am everywhere, in this body. But our hand will go to here. Nobody says, I am this. If somebody is calling your name and you say, yes, I am here. So other person will think something is wrong in his mind. So Hrudaya, Hrudistham. So Jnanagamyam Hrudistham. And about this Brahman, he says, Turiyam. Now this word we will take up tomorrow. Turiyam. Because it will need some time for explanation. So today what we discuss, this Brahman can be known by knowledge, thought of knowledge. And where it is known? Hrudhi. And what are the factors which will help in knowing this? Ishvara Anugraha. And how this Brahman will be known? So that is given in the next line. Atma Rupam hi tatyena jnatam. Beautiful. Atma Rupam. This Brahman is realized as one's own self. Just now I told you. It is not an object. So Atma Rupam hi tatyena jnatam. And once this identity, is realized that Brahman and Atman is me, then what will be the result? Beautiful result. Which everybody would like to have this result. And what is that? Sodvana paramapnoti satyam. That person crosses over this ocean of this world. samsara sagaram, and certainly it will happen. Satyam. Don't have any doubt whether I will cross over this ocean or not, cross over this samsara or not. Definitely Satyam. Ekameva dvitiyam hi Brahma. Tomorrow we will see. Today, let us stand one bhajan. तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु, तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। दुख और दर्द को दूर करो, दुख और दर्द को दूर करो। सुख के कारण दुख का निवारण, सुख के कारण दुख का निवारण। मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा, माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु, तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसराओ, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसराओ। बंधन कोटि सूत्रास मिटाओ, बंधन कोटि सूत्रास मिटाओ। मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा, माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु, तू है अनाथ बंधु करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।